Getting to know plants. Plants are almost everywhere on the earth. The greenery we see around us is due to a variety of plants in our surroundings. Scientists have estimated nearly 4 lakh kinds of plants on the earth. These plants are broadly divided into two main categories. These are flowering plants and non-flowering plants. The plants can also be divided into different categories on the basis of size. Types of plants. The plants we see in our surroundings are of various sizes. On the basis of size, plants can be herbs, shrubs, and trees. In addition, there are also climbers and creepers. Herbs. Herbs are small plants having soft, green stem which do not grow more than 3 to 4 feet in height. Their life cycle usually completes in 1 or 2 seasons. Some common herbs are mustard, sunflower, mint, wheat, paddy, coriander, petunia, and balsam, etc. Shrubs. Shrubs are medium-sized plants with hard and woody stem. These are extensively branched. Shrubs have average lifespan of 4 to 5 years. Examples of some shrubs are rose, China rose, lemon, pomegranate, bougainvillea, and henna. Trees. The big-sized, tall plants are called trees. The main stem of the trees is called the trunk. The trunk is hard and woody, from which several branches and leaves arise. Trees live for hundreds of years. Example, banyan tree. Examples of some more trees are neem, peepal, mango, coconut, babool, eucalyptus, etc. Climbers and creepers. There are some plants which have weak stems and they cannot stand upright on their own. These are called climbers and creepers. The climbers grow upwards but need support to climb above the ground. For example, grapevine, cucumber, bean, bitter gourd, glory lily, money plant, etc. The stem of creepers creep on the ground. For example, pumpkin, watermelon, cucumber plants, etc. Parts of a plant body. The body of a plant can be divided into root system and shoot system. The root system grows below the ground, whereas the shoot system grows above the ground. The shoot system bears branches, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. The root system provides anchorage to the plant. It also helps to absorb minerals and water from the soil and delivers to the shoot system. Shoot system uses these substances to manufacture food for the whole plant. Root system. Root is usually found inside the soil. It is not green in color but performs several important functions. There are 2 types of roots present in the plants. These are taproots and fibrous roots. In both types of roots, there are very fine hair-like structures called the root hair. Water and other nutrients are readily absorbed by the root hair. Taproots. In taproots, the main root grows in the middle from the base of the plant. Smaller roots are called lateral roots grow out of the main shoot. The main taproot is thicker than the lateral roots. The tip of the main root is covered by a thimble-shaped root cap which protects it from damage caused by the soil particles. The plants like mango, pine, neem, radish, pea, rose, mustard, balsam, etc. have taproots. Fibrous roots. In fibrous roots, a number of roots of same thickness grow out of the base of the stem in clusters. Each of these roots branch out further. Roots of maize, wheat, onion, sugarcane, rice, marigold, grasses, etc. are some examples of fibrous roots. Functions of roots. Roots absorb water and minerals and other nutrients from the soil which are necessary for the growth of a plant. These anchor the plant to the soil firmly. Roots help to prevent soil erosion by binding the soil particles. Modifications of roots. Roots of some plants are modified to perform certain additional functions. Due to this, structure of these roots gets slightly modified. Some of these modifications of root are: root modified to store food. In some plants, the food prepared by the leaves is stored in the roots. Carrot, sweet potato, turnip and tapioca roots are examples of such plants. The roots of these plants is used by us as food. Roots to give extra support. In some plants like banyan tree, roots grow down from the branches, reach the ground and fix themselves in the soil. These roots are called prop roots. In sugarcane and maize, several fibrous roots grow from the base of the stem and act as stilt roots. The prop roots and stilt roots provide additional support to the plant. Shoot system. The plant body above the ground forms shoot system of the plant. It consists of stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. Stem. Stem is the central and main axis of the plant body. All other parts of shoot system like leaves, flowers, buds and fruits arise from the stem. The stem consists of different parts. Node is a point on the stem from which leaves arise. Internode is the part of the stem between two consecutive nodes. Axil is the angle between the stem and the branch. Bud is the part of a young stem protected by overlapping young leaves. These are two types, that is, axillary bud and apical bud. The axillary bud is located in the axil of the stem and helps in growing out new branches. Apical bud is located at the tip of the stem and helps in increasing the height of the plant. Functions of stem. The stem performs the following functions. The stem helps the plant to stand upright. It bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. The stem helps in transportation of water and minerals absorbed by the roots. Food prepared by leaves is carried by the stem to other parts of the plant. Modification of stems. Stems of some plants are modified to perform some specific functions. Some of these functions are: give support to the plant. In some plants like gourd, grapevine, etc. have weak stems. They have thin, thread-like structures arising from their stem known as stem tendrils. These stem tendrils, on touching a rough surface, coil around it and provide support to the plant. Helps to make food. Cactus plants have leaves modified into spines to prevent the loss of water from the surface of the leaves. This is because the cactus grows in deserts where there is scarcity of water. The stem of the cactus plants are green and fleshy to carry out photosynthesis. Modified to store food. Potato, onion and ginger are underground stems which are modified to store food. Potato has nodes and internodes. The nodes bear eyes. Eyes have buds surrounded by the scale leaves. A new potato plant can arise from the eyes of the potato. Modified to provide protection. Some plants like citrus and bougainvillea have thorns. Thorns are pointed, needle-like structures to provide protection to the plant. Tide over unfavorable conditions. The underground stems help tide over the unfavorable conditions. For example, ginger. Leaf. Leaf is a flattened, green-colored structure which arises from the node of a stem or its branches. They are of different shapes and sizes. The green color of the leaves is due to the presence of a pigment called chlorophyll. The basic parts of all the leaves is same despite a variety in their shapes and sizes. Venation in leaves. The pattern or design that the veins form in the leaf is called venation. There are two kinds of venations found in leaves. Reticulate venation. In this type, the veins form a net-like design on both sides of the midrib. Plants with taproot system mostly show reticulate venation. For example, venation in leaves of peepal and mango trees. Parallel venation. In parallel venation, the veins are parallel to one another. Plants with fibrous root system mostly show parallel venation. For example, venation in grass, leaves, cereals, banana. Functions of leaves. Leaves perform several important functions in plants. The functions are: they perform photosynthesis. It is the process in which plants use carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to prepare food and release oxygen. Leaves carry out transpiration. Transpiration is the process of loss of water from the tiny pores called stomata present on the lower surface of a leaf. It helps to release extra water from the plant body. Leaves help in exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide through the stomata. Modifications of leaves. Leaves are modified to perform different functions. Leaves are modified as tendrils to provide support. In some plants, like pea or gloriosa, the upper leaflets are modified into tendrils, which coil around neighboring objects to give support to the plants. Leaves are modified as spines to provide protection. In cactus, leaves are modified into spine so as to reduce the loss of water from the leaves. The spines also protects the plants from being eaten away by the grazing animals. Flower. Flower is the most attractive, colorful part of the flower. There is enormous variety in size, color, texture, smell and shape of the flowers in nature. A flower has several parts and each part has some special functions. Sepals are the outermost green, leaf-like structures of a flower. They protect the flower in bud condition and also perform photosynthesis. Petals are colorful parts of the flower. The variety in number, size, color and shape of the petals make flowers very attractive. Stamen is the male part of the flower. It is made up of the filament and anther. The number of stamens is usually the same as the number of petals. Anther is the part of the stamen that produces and contains pollen grains. A pollen grain is a microscopic body that contains the male reproductive cell of a plant. Filament is the fine hair-like stalk having anther on its top. Pistil or carpel is the female part of the flower. It is made up of the stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is the sticky bulb that you see in the center of the flower. It is the part of the pistil of a flower which receives the pollen grains and on which they germinate. Style is the long stalk having stigma on its top. Ovary is the part of the plant usually at the bottom of the flower. The ovary contains ovules. Ovules are the part of the ovary that become seeds. Functions of flower. Flowers perform some important functions. They are the reproductive organ of a plant. These flowers are used to make perfumes and medicines. These are used in temples, decorating homes and functions, etc. Pollination. Pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grains from another to the stigma of same flower or other flower of the same kind. The various pollinating agents are wind, water, insects, etc. An animal that moves pollen from anther to the stigma of a flower is called pollinator. For example, bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, moths, some flies and wasps, etc. Pollination is followed by fertilization. The ovary changes into a fruit and the ovules change into seeds. Fruit. Fruit is a ripened ovary containing seeds inside it. The external wall of the ovary develops into fruit wall known as pericarp. The pericarp is further divided into epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Epicarp is the outermost wall of the fruit. It makes the skin of the fruit. Mesocarp forms the middle layer, which is usually fleshy and pulpy, such as in mango and banana. Endocarp is the innermost hard layer of the fruit. It encloses seed. Endocarp is edible, as in oranges. Functions of fruits. Fruits perform two important functions in the plants. They store food in them. Fruits protect seeds and keep them safe for a longer period. Seeds. Seed contains a tiny new plant inside it. It has a tough outer seed coat. The seed coat protects it from drying out. The cotyledons of a seed store food. This food is stored for the baby plant until it can make its own food. The baby plant inside the seed is called embryo. An embryo consists of a plumule and a radicle. The plumule grows into a shoot and radicle grows into the root. On the availability of favorable conditions like sufficient oxygen, suitable temperature and water, the embryo grows into a young plant known as seedling. Seedling grows into a mature,